What's up guys, welcome back to McLaren Media, your home for everything cars, photography and videography. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to remove the rear bumper on a Nissan 350z. Right guys, so before we jump in, I want to explain why I'm actually doing this. So if you've watched my last video, which is me removing the side skirts on this and how to actually do that, you'll notice that I did find some rust. Not too bad, just behind, like in front of the rear wheels. And the seals, they're just a bit corroded, but they're fine really. What I've actually decided to do, I've bitten the bullet, I've decided that I'm going to try and treat as much of the surface rust on this car as possible, because it's actually in a really good state for a 350Z. These cars are notorious for rusting, especially around the rear. They just fall apart, they really do. But this car is actually in really good nick. So basically what I wanted to start doing is actually just treating some of that rust and sort of grinding it away while it's surface rust and not structural damage, and then basically preserving it for the future. So that's why I'm taking the panels off, and obviously behind the rear bumper and all that underside, it's where it all gathers, all the water. You can imagine as you're driving along, it's chucking up everywhere in the rear, and that's why they corrode cars. This is what they do, is you can rust proof them as much as you want. As soon as water gets in somewhere, it will start eating away at the bodywork, especially here in the UK where they insist on salting the roads every winter. It just eats the metal, and well, you end up with bubbly arches and you end up with massive holes in the floor. So that's why I'm removing the rear bumpers, why I'm removing the panels. In future videos I'm going to be sort of future proofing this car. So in today's video we're just basically going to show you how to remove the rear bumper. I'll show you what tools you need first, so let's get on with that.
For this removal you will need a 10mm spanner, a 10mm deep socket and a ratchet, a flathead screwdriver and potentially a jack and something to remove your wheels. First step, open up the boot lid. Down the side you'll find three 10mm bolts holding on the rear light cluster. Remove these on both sides. Then gently remove the light cluster and unplug its harness. Then at the edge of the light cluster area is a 10mm bolt. Remove these on both sides. Inside the wheel arch there is a single 10mm. Remove this on both sides. Removing the wheel can make this step easier. Then simply pull down and out to release the bumper. This next part is a bit tricky, but where my finger is there is a 10mm nut on the end of a bolt. Go inside the boot and lift up the carpets to find a 10mm bolt inside the rear on each side. Hold one side with a spanner whilst you ratchet the bolt from inside the boot. Then once you've done this, gently pull the bumper to remove it from the car. Gently pry along the top to remove the clips that hold the bumper up, and be careful not to break them as you move along. Underneath the bumper at the bottom you'll find two screws/clips that need to be removed. I've previously done a bumper tuck, so mine are cable tied on, but you may have a 10mm or some form of clip. Once all these bolts and clips are removed, pull the bumper away from the car and slowly remove all the wiring harnesses. You should have the boot release, the indicators, the rear fog lamps and the number plate lights to remove.
Yeah, so there we go, guys. That is me removing the rear bumper on my Nissan 350z. Basically, like I said at the start of the video, it's all going towards future videos and future prep I'm doing just to preserve this car because it's in really, really good nick. So look out for future videos because I will be showing you a lot of the underside of this car and what I'm actually doing, and obviously you can then follow along if you have a 350z and they're starting to rust, because I can imagine even ones from all around the world are starting to show their age a little bit. Remember, these cars come up to 19 years old this year. They're actually really, really old, and my one's 18, 19 in the next year, so they're showing their age a bit, and it shows in the damage that they've got, you know, underneath. It's all rusty, it's crusty, it's corroded, and it just sort of shows the age. They're not like bad, it's just the fact that it's old, and I think that they're worth keeping. I don't think they'll ever be like massive money worth in the future, but I think they'll definitely be worth a bit of a collector's car because, let's be honest, times are changing. They're changing for the worst. You know, I hate the future that seems to be planned out for us. It just really sucks. So I really want cars like this to be preserved and shown off at shows and car meets for the years to come. So basically, guys, that is it. My next video, I'm going to be doing the rust proofing and sort of trying to sort all that sort of stuff out. So make sure you look out for that. And as always, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you found it informative if you've got a 350Z, because the rear bumper can be a little bit tricky on these, but it is actually all right to do by yourself. It's pretty self-explanatory, but use the video as a guide, and I will see you in my next video, guys. Cheers.